Hi, I'm Sandy Ames, hypnotherapist. Ooh, today's going to be fun. We're going to do a hypnosis. Not only are we doing a hypnosis, but I'm also going to teach you self-hypnosis as we go. You get to choose how you go along with this. You can take notes and learn for yourself how to do self-hypnosis, or you don't have to take any notes at all. You can just sit back, relax, and enjoy your experience. So how is it self-hypnosis and hypnosis? Who's doing it, you or me, you might ask. And then I would correct you and say, you mean you or I? However you experience this is absolutely just fine. Often when I teach people self-hypnosis, which I pretty much always do in hypnosis because it's easier and more enjoyable to learn than if I were to just say, okay, take out your notebook, write this down. Right? So you're going to learn it while we go in hypnosis. Often people will say, gosh, I couldn't keep paying attention. My mind was drifting. And I say, good. Other people say, I was trying too hard to pay attention and therefore I didn't feel hypnotized. Great. There is no experience necessary here. You can use this as a tool to learn how to hypnotize yourself or just enjoy being hypnotized or something in between. You may find that you want to do a first pass through while taking actual notes, and then a second listen to this episode to just lay back, relax, and let it take you. But it is my promise to you that when you have a visceral, a feeling experience, when you feel the feeling in a hypnotic state, it gives both your body and mind a deeper understanding of if and when you do choose to do self-hypnosis, you can go more quickly, more deeply, and you understand how the process works. So here we go. Just sit comfortably and close your eyes. Now, all you're doing, sitting comfortably, eyes closed, is just noticing the difference between your inhales and your exhales. That's it. Just noticing the difference between your inhales and your exhales. It's interesting, isn't it? That whether you were aware or not, your mind went somewhere in order to understand the suggestion. We have at least 5 senses, maybe more. And all those senses are somewhere on the face or in the head. Maybe you went to the sense of hearing, your ears, connected to your head. And the difference in the sound of an inhale compared to the sound of an exhale. I don't know. Maybe that didn't occur to you at all. Maybe you went to the sense of sight, also in your face, because all 5 senses are right there in your face or head, right? Eyes are on your face. Maybe in your mind's eye, you saw like a cartoon version of air being breathed into your nose, filling your lungs, and then being breathed out. Maybe it's a different color coming in, a different color going out. I don't know. Maybe using your intelligence, you already figured something out. Maybe you figured out, as you just continue to notice the difference between your inhales, your exhales. Maybe you figured out that the air that comes out is different than what just came in, because you already know that when we breathe in, those molecules of air, maybe you can just picture oxygen molecules, have to go all the way to the toes and the organs of the belly and the elbows and the neck and behind the eyes and around the brain. And at some point, it gathers up all that stuff your body doesn't need, and then it comes out when you breathe out. And so the air that gets breathed out came from an inhale that came a while back. I don't know if you're aware of how long the cycle of that oxygen molecule takes in order to come in, do the stuff, and then bring it back out again. Maybe in your mind, you use that sense of sight to follow and trace the oxygen through the body. Maybe you counted how long it might take with heartbeats. Perhaps the sense of scent or taste, nose and mouth, also in the face. Does an inhale taste differently than an exhale on the back of your tongue? Or feel, touch, that's also on your face. You can touch skin. Even the temperature of an inhale is cool at your nostrils, and it's cool all the way up through the bridge of the nose, but yet when we exhale, it's measurably warmer. So a person might wonder, at what point does it get heated up? Maybe you can follow it down in your mind's eye and feel for where the heat begins, maybe somewhere in the throat or further down. Maybe just on the way out. And as you find yourself just sitting comfortably, eyes closed, noticing the difference between your inhales and your exhales. That thinking, smart part of your mind may wander off. Maybe it already has. Maybe it wonders about things or asks questions. Questions like, how does a person know when they've dropped into a deep state of hypnosis? It might ask a question about sleep. Is it like sleep? Should I feel like that? The answer is no. Hypnosis and meditation, which are very similar, and even self-hypnosis, are different than sleep. Otherwise, everybody would sleep and then say that they're a really good meditator. They're different. So some people may wonder, well, is dropping deep into a hypnotic state, since it's not sleep, and I'm here, hearing, listening, deep inside. They may wonder, is deep, does deep mean down, like dropping down to the feet? They may wonder. Or is deep more front to back, through the body? Sometimes the mind might ask, is it a light and tingly sensation, or floaty or buzzy? Or maybe they're trying to define the word trance, if they've heard that. Or some people ask, is it more like a heavy feeling, dropping, sinking, like a deep massage in a really good way? And if it's the same hypnotic state, how can it be light or heavy? Those are all questions that a person might wonder if the mind drifts off. Now, if the mind were to wander off, that thinking, smart part of the mind, the 12% of your mind power, the conscious mind, absolutely let that happen. In fact, as it does, it just removes resistance, and it allows for that most profound part of your mind, the subconscious mind, which makes up 88% of your mind, the automatic part that runs you. It runs all the systems of the body. It's the part that makes change in the physical body, to simply rest deeply and listen, absorbing each and every word as it follows the sound of my voice, based on your true intention. And so if the mind wanders, it's not necessary for that thinking part of the mind to even eavesdrop on this conversation. I'm simply speaking to you, the unconscious mind, which processes 40 million bits of information per second, beyond conscious awareness. No need to even pay attention or catch on. The mind can wander. Let that happen. And as we learn the 3 keys to self-hypnosis, you may find it funny that the harder you try to not memorize the 3 keys, or even pay attention. They're so easy. It's kind of hard not to. You'll see. The 3 keys to self-hypnosis. Begin with key number 1, the physical keyword. So just notice your hands expanding. You can't get it wrong. Noticing your hands expanding. Or pretend to know what that could be like. Because as we drop deeper down into that comfort, there's no necessary state of mind to be in now or at any point. In fact, no necessary deep state of physical relaxation necessary now, or even a state of deep emotional relaxation necessary. You've seen people walking around in everyday life, hypnotized all day long. Walking, talking, driving somewhere, and then you get there and you have no idea how you got there. You were in autopilot, a hypnotic state of sorts. Or driving and a certain song comes on the radio, and instantly it takes you back to that person, that perfume, roller skates or pop rocks, pogo sticks, or the water. Driving along, minding your own business, and whoosh, that song instantly takes you back. That is a state of hypnosis. Watching a movie and not feeling your legs in the chair for 2 hours, hypnosis. Now, if you were sitting in that chair and there were no movie playing, how long would you want to sit in a chair staring at a blank white wall? Most people say, not that long, if they're being honest. But yet, when your favorite movie is playing, you sit there for 2 hours and you don't notice your legs unless somebody points out your legs. And then, of course, you do. Become very aware that you are lost in the story, in the beautiful unfolding as the hands expand. Maybe you can even visualize hands expanding up on that movie screen. Maybe for you it's more of a tingly, opening feeling, growing, glowing, perhaps with the sense of sight in your mind's eye. It could be 10 lightsabers. I know you can name that movie. Those movies. And it could be 10 lightsabers coming from every finger, maybe all the same color or different colors, and you know the sound effect when that opens. Woo. I don't know if hands expanding are more sight or sound or feel, buzzy, tingly. So key number 1 for self-hypnosis, the physical keyword, and hands expanding. And so as you just sit with, pretending to know what hands expanding could feel like, you get to choose whatever physical feeling word you'd like to choose. Maybe it's comfortable, or warm, or relaxed. Maybe yours is melted muscles. That's a physical feeling. Or tingly, or buzzy, or light, or floaty, or drifty. Those are all physical feelings. Maybe you've come up with a different word. And so now you've chosen your physical keyword, the physical feeling you'd like to feel, and now you let it spread through the whole body as hands expand. You can remember that because hands are physical. Hands touch things. Physical keyword, hands expand. And then that feeling spreads through the whole body, maybe with every heartbeat. I don't know if it spreads quickly or slowly, or like ink being spilled, or paint, or light, or crystals, or magical crystals. And if you see magical crystals, are they refracting light into prisms? Or is it more like a Disney movie sound effect of crystals spreading with every heartbeat? Soothing, spreading. That's the first of 3 keys for self-hypnosis. Physical keyword, hands expand. Let it spread. Maybe you've already figured out, haven't you, that if the first key is the physical key, the second key word of the 3 keys of self-hypnosis is the emotional keyword. You already know that emotions are associated with lungs, breathing, because when a person goes into fight or flight stress, naturally, it's an automatic shallow breathing, because emotions are associated with breathing, and therefore a nice long exhale scientifically elicits the relaxation response in the brain, the emotion associated with the breath. So you could just take a nice long exhale, or you can just notice the difference between your inhales and your exhales, which usually leads to a nice long exhale. Because science shows us that when we observe something, it changes. That's quantum physics. Same holds true for breath. When you notice the difference between your inhales and exhales, you're observing it, you're noticing, and therefore it changes. And usually what occurs is there's a nice long exhale. Or you know what? You could just take a nice long exhale on purpose. Works the same. Chemically, it shifts the brain. It scientifically elicits the relaxation response in the brain. Each and every nice long exhale, which softens every muscle on the way down more and more each time. It says to the brain, good news, I'm not in fight or flight. I'm safe. And so it tells the brain with every long exhale, which softens more and more muscles every time on the way down. So the brain tells the glands to do their job, which is to release hormones. Hormones are messengers for the body. The hormones that get released with a nice long exhale are hormones of bliss and relaxation. They're chemicals, literally creating a chemical shift in the brain. And sometimes people picture a fountain spewing up through the mind and then spilling over, like those magical healing crystals. Maybe they're silver and they pour over and then drain and trickle down the body from that nice big bone at the back of the bottom of the skull, the occipital bone, and where it turns into the soft tissue of the neck, and it just drains. Those crystals spill like healing liquid golden elixir spilling down from the bottom of the head through the neck, spreading across the shoulders, draining over the shoulders, pooling into heavy elbows. So heavy, it's like you couldn't even lift them even if you tried, and then spilling down the neck, spreading underneath the shoulder blades. That healing liquid golden elixir pouring down, those chemicals of change, that tingly sensation, that buzzy sensation down the spine, spreading across the ribs, down across the low back, and draining out the release point at the tailbone, surging through all the organs of the low belly in that release, because now you've really learned, haven't you, that those old stressors are just in conflict with your internal organs. That's the aging process, which now reverses in that drop in the release, and you realize organs just float. In the unclenching, they just float free and breathe. And that healing liquid golden elixir draining further down at 5, down to 4, surface tension rolling off the body as it gathers up old limiting beliefs, old expired beliefs, as they shoot down through the hips, down through the thighs, and swirling. That healing wind of swirling light through the knees that spills down through all the muscles of the lower legs, draining down and releasing through the release point at the heels. pouring through the feet and dripping off the toes, dropping down at 3. And so that old wall of anxiety in the mind drops, magnetically gets drawn down, and those cleansing waters inside the mind flush through, gathering up old limiting beliefs, draining down, spilling down more and more. As if those cleansing waters inside the mind sort of splash off the sides of the insides of the bones and the head, gathering old limiting beliefs, flushing down at 3. So then the emotional calm can spread through the mind and spill down, deeper down in the body. The emotions directly connected with breathing. And so the second key word is the emotional key word. And you get to choose that now. Maybe you've chosen a word like freedom, or calm, or ease, or relief, or release, or empowerment, or confidence. Maybe a different word. And as you've chosen now that emotional key word, the second of 3 keys, which is associated with breathing and lungs. Perhaps you even see each letter of the word tumbling through the lungs with every breath and spreading and mixing with that physical key word, like chocolate and vanilla ice cream, swirling, igniting, enlightening, soothing. And there you have it, the first 2 of the 3 keys of self-hypnosis. And just find yourself sitting comfortably, eyes closed. You notice the difference between your inhales and exhales. Usually automatically there's a nice long exhale, which then changes the chemistry of the brain, which changes the chemistry of the body, giving you access to new and higher impulses, clarity. So you breathe, and then key number 1, physical key word. You know your physical key word, and hands expand and it spreads. Key 2, emotional key word. Breathing. Physical, emotional. Physical, hands touch, hands expand. Physical keyword, hands expand. Key 1. Key 2, emotional keyword, breathing. And it spreads. You don't have to memorize all that. You can just remember physical, emotional. Key 1, key 2. And the third and final key is the easiest one. It's a simple countdown from 5 to 0. So in your mind, you simply count down 5 and then 4 in your rhythm, going deeper down with each number on this journey of change, sliding down from 5 to 4, dropping to 3, and draining down to 2, spilling into 1. And then in your mind, you would hear a finger snap in 0, deep sleep. You'd say to yourself in your mind. That's it. 3 keys: physical, emotional, 5, 4, slipping deeper down with each number on this journey of change, 3, dropping down, 2, 1, 0, finger snap, deep sleep. Each and every time I suggest the words deep sleep to you for the purpose of hypnosis and with your permission, you enter the state quickly, calmly, and deeply, and the physical body relaxes, just basking. Nothing to memorize or remember about self-hypnosis. 3 keys: physical, emotional, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, deep sleep. Each and every time I suggest the words deep sleep to you for the purpose of hypnosis, and with your permission, you enter the state quickly, calmly, and deeply, and the physical body relaxes, just basking. Because you know, at 0 in deep sleep, the mind loves to float to the future. Maybe you've done that. Maybe you've already done that. Maybe you floated to a certain specific future situation where you just find yourself acting and reacting differently somehow. Because the basking state, basking in that nice long exhale, gets us aligned. I don't know what aligned means to you. Is it connected? Is it inner wisdom, inner guidance? Free, being held, release, the aligned state. the calm state, the learning state, the creative state, the solution state, basking by breathing, dropping in, drop the story. You can do anything you want in self-hypnosis. You can take yourself on an adventure. See what you're wearing, the temperature. In your own self-hypnosis, you can see yourself in one yoga pose. You can watch the breath spread as it illuminates the nervous system and the body glows. In your self-hypnosis, you can play a game of golf, or you can see yourself in the future, somehow acting and reacting differently somehow. Or maybe just a reminder to bask when you catch your emotions. As achievement, like freedom, free floats through your body. You can't get it wrong. Your safe space to align and float free. Maybe you actually wrote physical notes. Maybe in your mind, you can write it right now. And so maybe in your mind you see a Post-it note. I don't know if it's yellow or maybe purple or orange. And the pen you like to write with, I don't know what color you like, but you do. Now, if you write on a Post-it note and it's the top note on a thick stack of Post-it notes, it's going to have a different sound to the writing and even a different feel to the writing than if that Post-it note were just by itself on a wooden desk. That would feel and sound very different. And so maybe you make a note to yourself in your mind right now on a Post-it note in your mind, and you write self-hypnosis in your own handwriting. And then you write, sit comfortably, eyes closed. Notice difference between inhales and exhales. And then you write 3 keys to self-hypnosis. Maybe you just draw a picture of a key. I don't know if when you see a key in your mind's eye, if it's like an old-fashioned golden key or brass, or maybe one of those new keys that's just electronic, or maybe you just write the word key. Maybe you write it in a different language. 3 keys to self-hypnosis. And then you write key number 1, physical keyword, hands expand. And maybe you even write down that word that you like, because you can change it anytime. You want to see how you can change it? Let's do it now. Let's pretend you have a magical eraser on the back of your pen or pencil. And so you erase, and now you got the little eraser parts, and you blow them away. And then you write a new physical feeling word that you like. Key number 1, physical keyword, hands expand. And then you write 2, key number 2, emotional keyword, lungs breathing. 3, countdown from 5 to 0, finger snap, deep sleep. Now you get to take this Post-it note and stick it on your toothbrush. Go ahead, in your mind. And you've got a whole bunch of copies of it. And so you can put one on your pillow, put one on your computer for work, even if it just reminds you to take a nice long exhale. It'll help you get present. You'll find that you get more work done more efficiently. It's like in the next days and weeks, you've just got that one Post-it on your computer that you placed in your mind, but you'll see it or even just feel the experience of it. And somehow you drop into work, you get more present. Maybe you do a self-hypnosis session. Maybe you forgot to think about it, but somehow you look back in the next days and weeks and you realize your efficiency, like you got more done in less time. You'll see. Just bask in well-being for as long as you'd like. And whenever you are ready, you'll count yourself back out. So in your mind, you would say 1, 2, 3, starting to fill your body with air as if that's your only job, just filling your body with air. Coming back into the room, breath, smiling on 4 and 5, eyes open, wide awake. You got this.